Now, this is our first full day in Tokyo, and Eleni suggested that we get a tour guide and have a tour guide so that way we didn't know how we were going to be off the flight. We were pretty good off the flight. I think we're both just really excited to be there. So having a tour guide meant that we had someone to show us around and get the ropes on like the train and just how to get around and where generally things are located, what to look for, what you're looking at when you're looking at something. And we had an excellent tour guide, very, very smart person. She was just, any questions we had, she helped us get our JR Rail Pass, which was what we needed for a few days in advance. She helped us just get our Passmo card, our card for getting around on the trains. She's just answered questions that we had and filled us in on, like for instance, the first place we went was a park, Omi Park, Unio Park, U-E-N-O Park. There's sister temples and there's a tree, and you can see through the tree and look through the other temple. People take pictures and stuff. I have a little video of that. That's something that I wouldn't have thought to look for. I mean, if it were up to me and if you were asking my advice on that, I'd say 100% go to tour guide, and I'd give you the information for her, because she was just really great. It was nice to have a friendly face and someone who could speak for you in a few cases to make things go along a lot quicker, because for the most part we were able to communicate with people, the Japanese people that we came across that didn't really speak too much English, because I only know like 2 or 3 words in Japanese. I just know sumimasen, arigato gozaimasu. I know how to say, do you speak English? I told the tour guide that because she asked, do you guys know any Japanese? Did you learn anything? And it's like, and I told her that, and she just laughed at me. Iego ga wakarimasu ka? Sumimasen, iego ga wakarimasu ka? Excuse me, do you speak English? I never said that one, but wakarimasen is I don't know. And at one point, some guy was speaking to her, and she was getting something from a counter, and she just said wakarimasen, and the guy went, oh, okay, and he started speaking in English, which I think that was funny. Learn Japanese, learn more than I did. I just knew enough to try to be polite. I felt if I could just be polite, that's it. Oh, and ohayo gozaimasu is good morning, and anything after 11 or 1, I forgot what time it is, konnichiwa, which is good afternoon. So those are good things to know. Anyway, we keep moving. We saw that in the Ueno Park has gates, small gates, what they call gates, the red, and on the gates it says, of course this isn't in Japanese, but this is the person that donated. So you donate some money, you can get a gate, and there are a line of them. We'll see more later on on the trip, but this was one in Tokyo. So we walked through there, and there's a Shinto Shrine there. Shinto is really not plain, but it's natural. So the temple is made and it's not painted or anything. And when you leave an offering for the gods, you put down, or maybe it's God, I don't remember. You put your change in, and then you clap your hands so that way the spirits around you, because it's about earth and spirit, and we're all together on the planet, which is of course true. But you clap your hands so that way the spirits will know that, oh, you're asking for something. Whereas Buddhist temples are much more lavish, meaning there's more gold, and there's a giant Buddha typically there. So you don't have to clap your hands at a Buddhist shrine because Buddha's already there. The other one, you had to get the attention. That was something I learned from the guide. Like I said, the guide, excellent guide. Really just a nice person overall. Just somebody you'd want to have be your friend anyway. And I didn't shoot a lot of video. I shot these pieces that I'm showing you, but mostly we paid for her to talk and for her to tell us what was happening, what was going on, what the context of things were. So I didn't film her, and I filmed little pieces here and there, and I didn't feel like I should ask, hey, I'll put you on YouTube. That's not my place. It's my channel. Eleni had agreed to being in videos, so she's in a lot of these videos, thankfully. So I didn't ask her, and I wanted to listen to what she said, because when you're filming, you do have to pay attention to what you're filming. I don't pay attention to when somebody's talking as much as I should. So I wanted to really pay attention to her because she's very, very smart and knowledgeable. She grew up in Tokyo, born and raised in Tokyo. So it's her home turf, and that's a big one to have, I guess. So moving along, I had to take notes because I shot a lot, but a lot of it's just the floor moving along, and I'll hear her talking, and I'm just making notes of what she said. Majority, except for like the Japanese, which I learned off an app, all the other knowledge that I'm talking about is not mine. I learned it from her because she knew all this stuff about her city. That's why we hired her. That's why she was a great tour guide. We stopped at a Shinto Shrine, and the Shinto Shrine was having a fire ceremony. I forget what the word in Japanese was. She told us and I forgot. But it was a fire ceremony where they have a bunch of prayers, they write them down, and then they burn them. And then people can come up and bring, like a lot of people were bringing their backpacks and purses and things of that nature to get blessed. So you put the priest, I don't know what you'd call them, bring them up to the fire. I should ask that question, huh? Put it by the fire to bless it. Not on the fire, but by the fire to bless it. So that way you have so that's why people were doing it to their stuff. We were on the corner watching. The highlight of that, well, there's a bunch of highlights in there. It was a beautiful building, and it's a really cool ceremony because everybody's just quiet and paying attention, because you couldn't take video in there. Otherwise I would have like 7 videos on it, how beautiful the place was. Now, if I can remember correctly, there were giant drums. That was a big thing, and they would do it because they would be doing rhythms and things of that nature, and it was really great. If you want to have a little Buddha or a little votive figure, I forget what exactly, I don't think it was Buddha, it was Shinto. So it was just a little figurine of a Buddha type character. I'm probably wrong, do not quote me on it, but you can get your family's name on it and put it, you can buy a big one or a small one, or there are little ones, and it was this long hallway. And you walk through this hallway, and it's filled with about 8 to 10 boxes high of these little figures with people's names on them that they've bought for the blessing for their family. And you walk through this long hallway, and it's what they call a walking meditation. So that was really cool. The Shinto Shrine was a big highlight, I think. And it was something I would have never known about, didn't have a tour guide. I'm not paid to talk about a tour guide. I paid for the tour guide. Eleni and I paid, I should say. And that was really great. So now we're at Ameyok Market. It's an open air market. It's like an older type market. It's just, you can get everything from fruit, fish, clothes, knives, you name it, you can probably find it there. It's just a really cool open air market. This day was, the temperatures in the mid 60s. It was a cool day, and it was raining off and on. But this day we walked 13 miles total, and with our tour guide we walked around 8 or 9 miles. So having a cool day where you got a little bit of rain, I'd rather have a little bit of rain than a bunch of sun on me, which that happened later on anyway. So I knew not having the sun around and just being cloudy, I was cool with that. So we're walking through here. There's a bunch, like I said, you name it and it's there. We saw basically everything. And at this point, we're on our way to the fish market. The fish market now, the actual sales and things like that have moved to a different building, just down the road a ways. This is still more of a tourist attraction, and it has every type of shop that sells food. So there's all types of food vendors. There's a lot of meat too, which you think it would just be fish, but there's a lot of fish places too. This is where we had sushi. This is where we had lunch. Sushi, it was excellent. The rice was just perfect. all of the sushi was just, it was just so good. We ordered a tuna sampler, which has different cuts of tuna. And then after I ate that, she was like, oh, you want to order more? And I was like, yeah. I ordered amberjack, flounder, and eel. Boy, the flounder might be my favorite sushi. Like, it's right up there with tuna. Like, I love a tuna belly, but that flounder is just smooth and clean. That rice was just incredible. Japanese rice is just like, you know, and it's like, oh, now we're back to American rice. So sushi was a giant highlight. Mostly because I was really hungry at that point. We'd been walking for like around 3 hours. So that was our tour of Tokyo. That was the first full day in Japan, in Tokyo, and it was great to have a tour guide. I can't recommend it enough. To have a smart person like that help us get acclimated to a place like Tokyo, which is great in a giant place. It was good to have that. I can't recommend getting a tour guide enough. It was really just a helpful thing. Japan's a really cool place. I liked it way more than I thought. I knew it was going to be a great place to be, but it was way better. Than it beat any expectation I had. So that was just getting our feet wet in Tokyo. Thanks for watching.